7 songs from Walk Around the Moon, a couple of song debuts, and a very interesting set list with limited jams. The D&B post show stream starts now.
It's your boy Concert Viz 34 back at home.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34.
Yep, so your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you here.
What up? What up? It's your boy Concert Viz 34. Aria. Okay, so this is Aria, and just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your love for the Dave Matthews Band.
I've been a fan of the band since April 28, 1998, and if you recognize the date, that's when Before These Crowded Streets was released.
Alpine is definitely a better venue than Summerfest, but we'll take it. I think I've been going to shows for about 20-something years.
I always tell people, like, compare DMB to now to when I first started. And I got started, in my opinion, I feel like I got started late. Like, I was at the very end of the band's prime. I feel like that 03 to 06 was like the end of the prime. 07, 08 was like, you know, we're at the very end. And then when Roy passed.
Dave really, this is the thing. Dave has put, Rashawn has been assigned the quarterback of this team. He is the coach, the play caller. He designs the jams. Dave just shows up and plays whatever he's going to play. H-Time, what up? All my shooters in Sugar Land. All my homies in Missouri City. Everyone in Houston proper, what up? Free Dodo full band too. Get Busted Stuffs over the border full band back to America. The Astros are cheaters. All my guys in Galveston, what up? League City, Pearland, Texas, what up? Shout out Paul Wall, the people's champ. Shamillionaire. R.I.P. Pimp C. Jay Prince, what up? Well. An interesting show. So much to say, but you guys don't want to hear from me. You guys want to hear from people that were at the show. Oh. Right? You guys don't want to hear. I wasn't there, so we're trying to get people on. We have one guest ready to go. Some other guests that I don't know if they're going to be able to make it, but that's why we always have backups. And if you went to the show and you want to come on the stream, put something in the chat, and we'll try to add you here. But welcome to the first US DMB post show stream for the summer 2023 tour, although it's still spring. But very excited to get things going here. We had a new album that came out today on the moon, and I am excited to see what happens this summer. And this first show was definitely, I mean, it's unexpected, a little bit unexpected. Um, and but let's forget about me. Let's get, and we're gonna invite Jess to the stream, Jessica from Wisconsin, who came all the way down to Houston. Right, Jessica, how you doing?
Hey, my friend, I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So tell us about going to this extremely hot and fresh and first U.S. full band summer tour show of the year.
It was super fun. It was really good. First time at the venue. Found it pretty easy to navigate. I got in right away. Got a poster, and I got a show poster and a tour poster. And it was very hot. It was very hot at showtime. Reminded me of Pine Knob last year when it was like 99 degrees when we pulled into the lot last year. It felt like it was at least that hot this year. But I thought it was a great venue, cool crowd, interesting set list. It was fun. I've never been to like a tour, like for a show, and I've never been to, I don't think, a show where it's the tour coming out or the album coming out. So
Gotcha. And so let's actually get to that poster first, since that was the big thing. Todd Slater was actually there himself. And I see we have your picture should be right here. You had sent a picture of the foil and the regular. I know some people had some of the regular. How many people were in line, did it look like, for that poster?
there was probably like 8 or 10 people in front of me when I got in line. I got in about it was like 6:06 or so when I got through the gates. And I had a foil up on the wall and the regular poster, and I asked for a foil, and the guy said, "I don't have any." And I was like, "Off the wall," and he said, "No, I think we'll get more later." And then the girl in the line next to me asked for a foil, and the lady went around the corner. It was like a double-sided merch stand, but I didn't realize that when I got in line. And she brought a few back, and I was like, "Can I have one of those?" And he was like, "Sure." So it works. But I checked back a little bit later, maybe 30 minutes later, and I don't think there were any foils left. So
Interesting. How many people were like behind? So you're in there at gates. You get in there at 6. How many people were behind you? Was there a long line for the poster?
it not really. I mean, after I got the poster, I filled up my water and went to the bathroom. Then like the lines were starting to get a little bit deeper. But it was really easy through the gates, and there was a merch stand like right there. So
Okay.
I walked in and got in line.
And when you saw this poster, what did you think about it compared to some of the other posters over the years?
I think it's pretty. I like the colors. I like the art. It's not too weird. Sometimes they're weird, and I don't like them.
All right. So let's talk about this show. What did you think overall of this show to start off this U.S. tour?
I was actually pretty surprised about how many new songs they played. I know it's the first the day that the album was released, but it still was a little bit surprising how many new ones were played. I was also a little surprised at how many people like just had a seat during the new songs. And I was like, you're like seeing new things happening. Like, I'm just going to take a break now. So, um,
Yes, we have. This has been very controversial here. Although some people said, hey, this is the norm in some of the Southern shows. We have video. Can you see that, Jess?
yeah,
Okay. So this is video during this is John who was in the lowers. I know you were in the uppers. He said people were sitting for most of the newer songs like this, just kind of chilling here. Obviously the fan base is getting older. So did you see this same type of thing around you in the uppers as far as all these people sitting?
there were a f- I don't think it was this many like what you're showing in the video. There were definitely people sitting during some of the songs, but I think there were also a lot of warehouse members in the area that I was in. Pretty much everybody I saw come in had a warehouse. So I think that, kind of shows a different level of interest than maybe
Right.
a more casual fan that sees the opportunity to go because they're in town.
Right. And I think I didn't see a lot of tickets for sale in the lowers this year for the Woodlands. And I wonder if a lot of this was just corporate people or other people who were just more casual. That's very common for some tourist stops. But yeah,
Yeah.
7 Walk Around the Moon songs. Now we have a show June 1st, 2005. It's the first summer tour show in '05 when stand up had come out. There were 8 stand up songs. That was the highest one I could really see as far as a summer tour when an
Wow.
album's coming out. Otherwise, Big Whiskey had a spring tour, and 2009 they did Europe in the summer. So the spring was when they came to United States. They started at MSG, only 3 Big Whiskey songs
Mm.
that MSG show. And then at the Woodlands in 2012, Away from the World, they started off the tour at the Woodlands, 3 Away from the World songs. So you're absolutely right. 7 songs from an album played in a summer opening night. That's extremely high. So we get to this first song, Bismarck. What was going through your mind to actually hear this song in the United States? This isn't Mexico of any kind. What was it like to get this as an opener?
It sounded really good. It was a good start. I think some people didn't know it. Some people seemed surprised. The band just seemed so, so, so happy tonight. Like they just all looked really happy. More, they're always smiling, but it seemed like they were smiling, more fist bumps and high fives. And they just seemed really into it tonight. And I know not everybody loves Bismarck, so that made me laugh too.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of the hardcore online fan base has been excited about this. They petitioned Stefan about it for the last year or so, and I think that it's interesting that it's not shocking, but it's interesting that when you get to the actual show, like you just said, not everyone's crazy about it. Now, the other thing here is you have a Jimmy thing that goes into Brick House. What was going through your mind when this moment happens? They transition Jimmy thing into Brick House.
Well, my first question is how long was that Jimmy thing?
Oh yeah, right. So for those of you guys who don't know, you knew the stream. I once when Seek Up starts, I put my watch on. Where's my watch over here? When I have my watch,
Do you
and
have a
I'm like,
special Dave watch?
I'm looking at the time for Seek Up because I say the best Seek Ups are not are and the best two steps have a certain time frame. If they go over a certain time frame post Roy, they're not as good. They're redundant because the Roy Moore is not with us anymore. But anyway, yeah. So I did not time the Jimmy thing, but it seemed like it went on for a little bit. But yeah, what did you think about Brick House?
I did not see that coming, but I think like during the transition, you could kind of pick up on it. You're like, is that where that's going? Um, but is that really the song debut? They've never played it before.
Correct. They have never played that song before.
Hmm.
and that's according to the almanac. There's no other time that they have played it.
Maybe they've just played it as house music.
Yes, I wouldn't be. I want to say there's a lot of funk and stuff for the house music, but they've never played that live. So, what was the crowd like when that happened?
Um, People went a little wild. It was pretty fun. It was like, oh yeah, this is different. This is new. And it's a fun song, so people were kind of jamming out, and it was good energy. It was a good transition. It worked well. It flowed well. Um, and I mean, really, Jimmy was probably the longest jam, probably.
I was gonna say they even in Mexico, Guadalajara has a similar set list to this. They had Crush. Like I thought we were gonna get a Crush in the middle of this, but we didn't. We didn't get a Lie in Our Graves. You did get a Dancing Nancy's. That was towards the end of the set, but there really weren't. You're absolutely right. There weren't really any jams outside of Nancy's and Jimmy thing that were substantial. So definitely unique. Typically, you have a crush. You have, like I said, a lot. Maybe Line Our Grave sometimes takes a couple tour stops, or sometimes even a month to fully come in.
Hmm.
But there wasn't really anything else, so that's interesting. And the other thing here is I don't know if you listen to the sound check today?
No.
Okay, so the sound check was number 41, and the other song was Louisiana Bayou. But they did not play Louisiana Bayou. So, and that happens all the time. They'll test it out, then they'll just decide, hey, we're not going to play it. How was the sound overall? How did the band, how was everything as far as sound of the band, the voices of Buddy and Dave?
I think the sound was really good tonight. Um, Buddy, I feel like the mix was good. You could definitely hear Buddy. Um, Rashawn had some vocal highlights tonight. I feel like a little bit more uh, than most nights. So that was kind of fun. Um, they sounded good. They sounded, rested and kind of fresh and ready to go.
All right. And I actually want to go through something here with you real quick. So forget about the live version of this song, but when you're listening to this new album that just came out, what did you think about After Everything, the studio
I
version?
I thought all of the new good. I was thinking like, okay, I could get into these live. There's definitely like, there's a lot of talking during new shows or new
Yep.
songs. And I mean, even at the end when Dave was like, this is really quiet. Like, you got to be really quiet. Don't have any stupid conversations or whatever he said. And people were still talking. I was like, um, I thought it was really good. Also, like, full confession, I haven't even listened to the whole album yet because I haven't been home in a few days. So hopefully it's been delivered today. It'll be there when I get home tomorrow.
So did you listen to After Everything before?
I don't think I have.
Okay. Now, what did you think of it live? This was the song where Buddy and Dave kind of trade off, and
It was really fun. I liked the back and forth of it. It looked like they were having a really good time. Um, I think I did a video of it. I'm not sure if I sent it to you. I didn't have a great connection and my battery was dying, but um, I tried to get some video of all the new songs because they were sounding so good. I liked it. I thought it was really fun, that back and forth when they get into it.
gotcha. All right. Well, you gotta listen to the album. I know you said you've been busy. Oops. I just took off, so I didn't mean to do that. Give me one sec. All right. What was your favorite song of the night?
Hmm. just one. Like Break Free. Like that was fun to hear tonight. Um, I've always liked that song. So that I like that. And Nancy's is probably my very first favorite Dave song. So I'm always happy when they play Nancy's. And it was a good lead into Warehouse. So they definitely ended strong. I was a little surprised by a Gray Street like closer. Um, but they definitely ended on a high note. I also laughed because everybody still is cheering for the third verse. So I wonder how long we're doing that for.
Yeah, and it's interesting because
I
of
think it's back.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's here, guys. It's here to stay. But it's funny because Mexico didn't have those reactions from the tapes I heard of the first two Mexico shows. But now that they're back in the States, it seems like this is a permanent thing, and people were you know people were definitely excited from we could hear on the Sirius XM stream and you there. Now I will say I thought it was going to be Gray Street. Obviously, I was not watching Couch Tour. If I would have saw the 12 string standard, I would have said Gray Street. But my logic was being at home and looking at the almanac. There were no Busted Stuff songs until Gray Street.
Mm-hmm.
You have, just to give you an example, Crash had one play. Every Day had one play. Busted Stuff had one play, one unreleased, that's Bismarck, one cover, Brick House, one Some Devil song, one Big Whiskey song, one Come Tomorrow song, and there was also no Away from the World songs.
Mm-hmm.
So more albums, more problems. It's like, okay, we love this band, we love their catalog, but now that they have 7 Walk Around the Moon songs in the set list, it really takes away. Did you feel like you were missing a lot of the old DMB?
I guess when you say that, yeah, kind of. Um, but also, I feel like I'm always just happy to be there. And
Mm-hmm.
I have 7 more shows planned so far this year. So I know I'll see more things. I'm sure I'll see some repeats. I used to hate new album releases. Like I hated having new music that would take away from, like the older songs that you always wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But now I guess it makes me happy because I feel hopeful that they're going to keep going longer then.
That's
You know,
good perspective.
if
Yeah,
we go
that's
too long without new music, I'm like, are they getting tired? We
good
are all getting
perspective.
old.
Because yeah, we don't know. I mean, they could be like Springsteen and still be going, or they could hit a patch where, listen, we want to slow it down, or we want to end right now in our sick, because they're all coming. Carter's in his 60s, and some other members are getting close to their 60s. So we'll see what happens there. So the other thing is, just to give you, maybe you've been checking Twitter, a lot of fans at home are discouraged. Some people don't like the album. Some people are okay with the album, but they saw this show tonight and they're like, where's that dreaming tree from last year? That shotgun from last year that came up in the first couple of shows. There's a lot of people that are saying, "Hey, these new songs are too quiet." There's some people who just, again, they look at this set and it's like, just like you said it was a little unique or different. They're like, this is different. I'm not excited about seeing this band. What would you say to those people who may be uh, discouraged or kind of upset with this set?
I mean, I guess I get it. It's like that's a valid thought process. But also, I go back to it means they're still going. So there is a lot of nostalgia, right? Like a lot of us have been going for years and years and years and decades. And, so you kind of have an expectation, or you think about shows that you've been to before. But I think part of what makes it great is that they are still evolving evolving and they are still new music and they are still so happy and seem to really enjoy it. And that is good for us.
Yeah. And when we look at Dead and Company and some of the issues they've had, I believe it's Aerosmith is on their final tour and they've hardly toured. We have Pearl Jam that doesn't even, I mean, they tour, but they do a couple of shows and then that's it. Like literally it could be 6 shows in it. Sometimes I think one year there was like 4 or 5 Pearl Jam shows and that's it. That's all you
Hmm.
get. It's
Hmm.
like the next 3 weeks or next 2 weeks, really. It's like imagine if DMB just did 2 weeks and then it was like the rest of the year you're sitting around waiting for the next year where they may not even tour. So
And those are
that
like impossible to get.
yes, yes, the Pearl Jam tickets, and I think that's another thing is that the Pearl Jam tickets for New York City, Madison Square Garden, they were like $4,000. Um, and there's only 18,000 seats for everyone in New York, Boston, Philly, and then they had one show in Camden, but even so, that's another venue that again the whole East Coast was flying into.
Yeah.
Um, and so we are blessed. Greg in the chat says we're spoiled. Are you going to Dallas tomorrow?
I'm not. I'm going home in the morning so I can see my husband and my kids. I've been gone since Tuesday. I super lucked out that I had to be in Houston for a conference for work, and it ended today at noon. And I was able to find a ticket and go to the show tonight. So
That's awesome. Well, hey, we want to thank you for coming on. Safe travels
absolutely.
back. And Wayne, Wayne, she's got a poster. She's got a poster. If you guys
Mhm.
haven't been following the post show stream, her husband Wayne wanted her to get a poster in Colorado. She decided to take a look at some flights and some other dining options and missed out on the poster. But this time, you got it. There'll be no controversy in your household. So safe travels and have a good night.
Thanks, Marcus. See you soon.
All right. Take care.
Mhm. Bye.
Bye. All right. So thanks to Jessica for coming on and great perspective. And that's the cool thing about Jessica. She's been like for 20 years going to shows. So she's seen this band, at just in the early 2000s when they were really at their peak, and she's still excited to see them now. And it's great to see that. Let's see. I'm trying to get some other people, and again, it was also a hot one. There's some people that listen. It's that could be a reason people were sitting too. I have been to Houston in March. What is it? May now? I'm in March, and it's 87, 88 degrees without the humidity they get now, and it can be pretty hot. It's very swampy at times there. Now, I do have concerns, and I understand some of the concerns. I think, oh, Fatima, do you want to come on, Fatima? I can get you. If not, let me know. Just say in the chat you can't. Oh, yeah, we're gonna call Fatima. We're gonna call Fatima now. Let's see. Okay, so let's get this set up. I want to hear from her, but I am concerned about the fact. I think this is exciting to get some of these new songs out, but there's not like again even a Crush, which is not like I like Crush. I don't have it on the level of Lion Our Graves and Bartender, some of the other ones, but like there wasn't even a Crush tonight, let alone a Lion Our Graves. A say, and some of this stuff takes time, but it was a bit shocking. And at the end of the show, I'm gonna take a look at this show compared to Monterey. Oh, and we got Two Steph. Oh, hold on. Okay, let me Fatima, can you stay on hold because I want to get Steph on here, and then we'll call you. All right, let's. So we have. I believe she has the polka dot dress to walk around the moon in. Let's bring on Two Steph. Steph, how you doing?
Good. He didn't even play Walk Around the Moon. It's fine.
I don't want to get copyright struck. No, oh, you're talking about the show. Oh, the show, right. He didn't play it. You had the polka dot dress and he did not pick.
No.
Wow.
He didn't play. That's fine. It was awesome. He played in a lot of new songs today.
So talk about this show. What did you think of this opening US tour stop?
I mean, overall, he played a lot more new stuff than I thought he was going to. They all sounded exponentially, in my personal opinion, better than they did on the album. But it was good energy. It was very hot, but it was fantastic.
So I don't know if you saw, we have video, and it's from my friend John, who may be able to join later. He's kind of trying to get back. Can you see that video?
Yeah.
People are sitting down. This is the opening night. Did you?
Where is that?
This is in the lower, I think, like this is the horn side, lower level, right behind, a couple rows behind the pit.
Around us, I think everyone was standing.
Okay. Were you in the pit?
No, we were 103 first row, so right behind the pit.
Okay. And it looks like from this video, the other side of everyone standing up over there, but it's just right here. Oops.
That is a shame.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I understand. Listen, the fan base is getting older, but it's opening night.
There's a lot of young people in that picture, so
yeah. No, you're right. You're right. We got to hold these fans accountable. If you know these people,
I know, right? No, I think it's hard because, I mean, the people that are very, I don't want to say obsessed. That sounds condescending, but the people that follow the band all the time, everything. They knew that there were going to be new songs, but I bet a lot of the people who were more casual fans did not. They were probably not expecting to hear that many new ones. Once the jams came on, I mean, people were definitely up and moving. It was a little more quiet when the new songs came on, but no one around us was. I don't think anyone was talking. I don't think anyone was being irritating or rude, but I know that a couple other people said that around them, people were sitting and talking the whole time. So. We were lucky today.
Yeah, and that's, honestly, that could be any Dave Matthews Band show as far as the talkers and your neighbors. There's some sections that people are talking and yelling or spilling beer, and there's other sections where everyone's engaged and it's fun. So it's really about, literally, you could be 10 feet from a different experience. So what was your favorite song of the night here?
I was very much looking forward to, well, Monsters for sure, but Looking for a Vein, I would say, is my favorite. I really wanted to hear that live. It was short. I don't know. I thought it was longer on the studio version, but I think it was only it was a little under 3 minutes.
Okay.
But was a jam live. I'm trying to think. After Everything.
So let's stop right there. So forget the live show. You listen to After Everything, the studio version. This album just comes out. What was your reaction to the studio version of this song?
I honestly didn't know what to feel the first time I heard it. It was very I don't know, it did not sound like the band to me. It was very, like you said, very Beatlesy. It sounded more like them live, but I didn't know what to make of it the first time I heard it. A bit chaotic, I guess.
Yeah, but it's definitely different. And then, so now take us to the show tonight. After Everything at the 12 spot, what was it like to hear it live in person?
I mean, Buddy rocked it. They sounded fantastic. After the song was done, though, I saw Dave look at Carter and say that was terrible. So I don't know what they messed up, but I thought they sounded pretty damn good on it. I think things are going to evolve with the song, and I don't know. I'll be curious to see how much they play it, because I know Dave said he loves that song. But I think that they wanted to make some improvements on whatever it sounded like today.
I think the challenge with that song, the first part of that song is, hey, that's pretty standard music. The part where Dave and Buddy have to kind of exchange vocal pleasantries. When I was listening to it on Sirius XM, Dave Matthews Band Channel 30, I felt like I was hearing more of the instrumental. So it was like the instrumental parts behind it, the horns and the bass, but like Dave's vocals versus, like, I could hear Buddy's vocals, but Dave's vocals it was like it's very improvish, and it's hard to execute. I could see how it's hard to execute because they're going back and forth in a unique type of way. And so there's a lot of room for mishaps, or even in their mind. Forget us. We may think it's perfect. I know a lot of people, especially the ladies, love hearing Dave and Buddy get all, into it.
Yeah.
But for them, they're like, oh wait, I'm a little off. Wait, where am I? They're trying to find their time and rhythm in the middle of a what is a chaotic but fun chaos, a kind of a spur of the moment chaos in that song. And I could see why they maybe thought, oh, we didn't nail it. We didn't do it well. But in the end, I think fans that like it will enjoy it. There are a lot of fans that like it. There are a lot of fans that are confused and think it's they don't like it at all. They think it's a low tier song. So it's very polarizing for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It did not go off the rails by any means. There was a song early in the night that we're all standing there. It was an old song, and we were so confused about what Dave was even doing. He completely went off the rails on one of them, and I cannot remember for the life of me. I don't know if it was Jimmy Thing or Rapunzel. I don't know. Something went off the rails, but that song, After Everything, sounded pretty good, all things considered.
Okay. That Bismarck opener, what were you thinking when they opened with Bismarck?
I love Bismarck, but I don't think a lot of casual people know it. And so it's always, I never know what goes on in his brain, because you would think that, well, he opened with Satellite for the tour. And so I don't know if he knows how many fans go to the bathroom on that song. But Bismarck was I don't know, I think it's more of a quiet song. I was expecting something a little more upbeat, but again, what Dave does is beyond what I think a lot of us predict sometimes.
Yeah, there was a push to get it back, and Stefan took credit for it on Twitter, that he was saying, hey, the fans are talking about having it back. And I think the social media fans, the diehard fans, like you said, that know everything, in the average crowd, I mean, the fans on social media may only make up 4 to 5% as far as the active users every day. It could be 4% of that crowd, and that's being generous. It could be closer to 1%. So I think there is, the people who are the loudest are a very small percentage of that crowd. You're in the Woodlands. You're not at SPAC, and even at SPAC in the Gorge. I've been to the Gorge, and a lady was asking me, who looked older than me, hey, what song is that? Oh, that was What Would You Say? So it's the concerts are experiences where you do have your diehard fans, but most people are just looking to have fun, and they may only know one or two songs. It's not uncommon. So
it's such a balance. I can't even imagine trying to come up with set lists, because you have, like you said, the vocal crowd, i.e. us.
Yes.
Who want to hear only deep cuts 90% of the time. And then you have the casual people. I don't even want to say casual. Normal people.
People who spend their money wisely.
Yeah, people that, are they love them, but they don't know some of the very, very deep cuts. And so it's always surprising when he opens with something like that, but I was happy.
Yeah. And one of the concerns I had was based on the crowd reactions. Some of these Virginia in the Rain, I guess people were going to the bathroom during it. That happened back in 2018, 2015. I was at the first one in Hartford. Now, in
Yeah.
Hartford, I will say I was in the pit, so it's a little different. Like people in the pit stayed. But the next
Yeah.
night, literally the next night, they played it again in Mansfield, and I was in the lawn, and people were going to the bathroom during it. So I'm worried that some of these slower songs are going to move Dave away from Virginia, which I want to hear live again, full band. But I'm just concerned that Dave plays a lot of loud stuff that I don't like. Can't Stop by You. That stuff, as much as
I knew you were gonna bring it
as
up.
much as I don't like it. People who are at a show to have a party type environment, they like it. They respond to it. These quiet
Yeah.
songs, they're not responding. Did you notice that? Was there a lot of quieter songs where people were kind of going to the bathroom or leaving or
Yeah, for sure. Virginia Naked in the Rain was,
Virginia?
yeah, that was very, yeah. Virginia in the Rain was, it was a slower one, and a lot of people left. I'm trying to think, what else? Honestly, I think that was the biggest one where people got up and went to the bathroom. There was a lot of movement. Some of the newer songs, but I guess I can understand if people hadn't literally listened to the album at midnight and throughout the day. They're probably not familiar with those, but they seem more upbeat, honestly, in person than they did on the album.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
say.
That's good though that they're more upbeat there. Let's see. Brick House. What was that like live?
Phenomenal. I know you don't like covers, but that Rashawn rocked it. I honestly probably the most that people moved. I mean, that was awesome.
So I did say on Twitter, I said if Rashawn is singing, he can't play his trumpet in high register.
Yeah.
So and listen, I think he's done a great job of balancing it out. This new album, I actually like what he brings and I actually like a lot of what he brings. I just that higher register, I call it that New Orleans style trumpet, which
Yeah.
works for jazz and New Orleans type of music, but to me doesn't always work with DMB. But I did like that he was singing. I heard it on Sirius XM, was not there, but heard it through there, and I thought it was cool. I thought it's a win-win and definitely a shocker, right? A wild card
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
Rashawn. It's like O'Teal singing in Dead and Company. And even rarer than that because people have signs that say let O'Teal play. No one has a sign let Rashawn have a solo. So
Let Rashawn.
what would you say the loudest moment of the night was?
Anytime during Warehouse, it got loud. What else did they? Don't Drink the Water. People were screaming. Gray Street, always. Third verse, people still go insane for that. I would say those. And Rapunzel was loud too. I would say the bigger hits, people were screaming very, very loud. 41 got pretty loud too. I have some recordings of that. They were definitely yelling with that one.
So for that one on the Sirius XM stream, somebody was saying 41 at the end of 41. And I heard someone say, we need more trumpet. And like, so you could hear on the Sirius XM stream, people were like yelling, trying to get picked up by the mics. And, but yeah, someone was like at the end of it, 41, like they were calling it out, like they wanted them to play it, but it was over. So I mean, That's what it. Yeah, it was interesting. It was weird to see. It's like, what are you doing? But um, any other final thoughts we want to? I'm gonna try to bring some more people on, but any other final thoughts about this night?
I honestly, I was impressed with how good most of the new songs sounded. I'm hoping some of them, I'm sure, will evolve a little bit, but I think they did a very good job considering how many new ones they played. Um, and I'll be curious to see what if they all stick around during the rest of the tour. I've actually never been on like after an album release. I haven't ever been on the tour following one, so I don't know how many times he'll play some of these songs, but they sounded great.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're not going to play 7 every night. So you have a great point there. What there's going to be stuff that sticks around. Some may not. Some may be spread out. So thank you so
Yeah,
much for coming on. Are you going to Dallas?
I am.
Uh,
We're pit. Afraid we're gonna bake to death, but we'll see.
all right. Well, safe travels out to Dallas, and thanks for coming on. Take care.
Bye,
All
Marcus.
right. Bye. All right. So we got another guest. He's got he's gripping up on the posters in the background. But we got he supplied the video tonight, the controversial video of fans sitting down and really not engaged in the new music. We got our boy John Dix. He's about to come on here. Straight out of the show. He always gets the poster. He always gets the poster. He does not miss when he wants a poster. He sees it. He gets it. Ladies and gentlemen, John Dix, welcome.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the tour opener, Woodlands. In the books. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what's your reaction to this show?
I had a really good time. I've been to several tour openers. I've been on several album tours, and this is what I expected. A good mix of new tunes and a good mix of classics, and that's what we got tonight. May not got the classics that everybody wanted, but we got classics.
Now, were you at this show? Wasn't this one of your first shows, Maryland Heights, Missouri, 05, June 1st?
I was there in 05, but my first show was 3/26/03.
Oh, the Dave and Tim.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I was in Maryland Heights 05, 06. I was at Pensacola 19, Dallas 18.
Yeah.
I was at North Carolina at 21. I was at Austin 22 and Woodlands 23.
Wait, hold on. We gotta repeat those. So wait, hold on. Let's get 1 second. Where's the
put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all say my name, put some respect on it.
Y'all better put some respect on John's name, okay? But we go back to this 6/1/2005. 8 stand-up songs. Okay. But these are both anomalies, right? So 7, I know you said, listen, it's a you've been to these tour openers, but 7 songs from the new album.
So you have to think about the context of these 7 new songs though. Most of these songs are short and sweet. So it didn't really feel like there were 7 new songs played tonight, if that makes sense, because they weren't long drawn out tunes. Even Monsters, which is a banger, Tim really didn't go off in it like he did in Mexico. So a lot of the new songs are very short. The one song that I do not like, what's it called? After Everything, I think it's called. Or
yeah, that's the Beatles. That's that beat. I call it's like a, Mac. So Mac had from the Before These Crowded Streets session. Some of it sounds like Paul McCartney. Some of it sounds like Radiohead. This is Mac Church. This is Paul McCartney and the Beatles sound. And then we get to Church, with Buddy and Dave. So you don't like that song. What did you think of the studio track first?
The studio track, I didn't like it. It didn't really touch me. Live, I mean, at least it's not like as long as they don't like draw it out to like something more than what it needs to be. I can live with it for for the tour or whatever. But I just don't want it to like turn into something it does not need to turn into.
So what did you think of? Because we just had Steph on, and she said that Dave kind of looked at Carter like, "Oh man, we messed that up." What did you think of the part, not the beginning part, but the part where Dave and Buddy exchanged vocals, exchanged those bars? What did you think of that part? Did they nail it? Did they kind of mess it up? Or
I wouldn't say they messed it up. I just think they're still getting a feel for it. I mean, it is the first time they played it in front of people, so that's to be expected. I never expect DMB to nail an opening tune, a tune they just bring out. It takes a while for them to get those tunes tighten up. By the time the Gorge is here, that song will sound totally different, and it'll be really tight and where it needs to be. So this band doesn't usually bust out like new songs and they just sound crisp and perfect on the first go around. It takes a little bit of fine tuning, etc., in practice. So, I mean, it sounded okay as far as just like the playing, etc. Yeah, did they make a little flub here and there? Yeah, Dave flubbed on Nancy's. If you listen closely in the beginning, he flubbed on Nancy's. But he made up for it. So I mean, that's just Dave being Dave. I mean, it's nothing surprising.
gotcha.
That Brick House though was dope.
Yeah, it was on Sirius XM. I told Steph, I said, "Hey, if Rashawn is singing, he can't play the high registered trumpet. Think about that."
How did he sound? How did it sound on Sirius? As far as like, how did Rashawn sound on Sirius?
I gotta listen back. I was passively listening because I was handling some other business and kind of chilling here, grabbing some stuff to eat. But it was like, wait, I didn't realize. I was like, who's singing? Is that a guess? I thought it was a guess because we can't see.
Yeah.
But I was like, and then people were saying it was Rashawn who were watching Couch Tour. And I was like, oh, that's Rashawn. But I was like, Rashawn sings the backup vocals, but I was like, oh, that's Rashawn taking the lead. I will say I would love for Brick House just to forget Jimmy thing, just play Brick House.
I was telling Rob, who I sat with tonight, I was like, man, I said Jimmy thing needs to go back to being like 7 minutes tops. And then if they want to like put something at the end of it, Brick House or whatever, I'm fine with that. But that song doesn't need to be over 7 minutes anymore.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And let the horns can shine on Brick House because the end of Jimmy thing, that the last 8 minutes of it is for the horns to showcase to everyone, hey, this is what we do. We're not, this is where we shine. And to me, the Brick House is a way for them to shine. So it's, I don't know. So now let's take a look here. I'll pull this up with you since we have you on, and let's get to slideshow. Oops, no, not from beginning. Let's go from here. So what I did is I did Monterey side by side with
Mexico was an aberration.
So this is, and we're gonna make us smaller so people can see this. All right. So we have Monterey, One Sweet World, When the World Ends, Busted Stuff, Madman's Grace, Rooftop Crush, Fool to Think, Virginia the Rain, Sweet, Break Free, You Never Know, Space Between Monsters, Gray Street, Satellite, You Might Die Trying, Vain Ants Marching. And we have Tonight Show right there, which many of you guys, again, we've talked about. So you're saying this is just an anomaly. This is just a special. The Mexico shows were just a special moment in time.
Yeah, because if you go back, I mean, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm quite sure. If you go back and look at any international DMB show or any DMB festival, they never go deep in the bag on any of these shows.
Right.
Never.
Oh, yeah.
And
The one thing I'll say is they did play Mercy in Munich.
But Mercy's not a deep in the bag banger though.
Yeah, but they, you know what they did? They flipped it. That outro with Buddy, it's on one of the warehouse discs. I was listening to it the other day. You're right. It's not. Listen, it's not Fool to Think being played in Europe or Mexico. It's not Busted Stuff coming back. But Mercy had gone away for a bit, and to have Buddy just totally change the temperature of that song, in my opinion, was unique. But yeah, outside of that, and they did Sugar Will. They've done Sugar Will. I think these Mexico shows, they had a bunch of things that made you go, whoa. Like to have You Never Know, Busted Stuff, and Virginia in the Rain, Fool to Think, like all this stuff in one show is what gets me.
It wouldn't surprise me if we never heard any of those songs the rest of the year.
Interesting.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I really hope people weren't coming tonight chasing songs. How many times have I told people on this show?
Yeah,
stop chasing songs.
Don't chase songs. Focus on yourself, King.
Yeah,
stop chasing these.
That you used to stick to the Jimmy things and it's only thing and etc. that you used to stick to the Jimmy things.
Right. Stop chasing these songs, folks. You're gonna get everything that you want.
She belongs to the streets.
So, but yeah, this is just, I was looking at this side by side and it's like, dang. If they would have played, imagine if they flipped these sets. So in Monterey, you get Bismarck, right? People are pumped up. It comes back. You get Brick House. You get Virginia in the Rain. And then they came into Houston and Busted Stuff is number 3. And Fool to Think is number 8. And you still get Break Free, and you get You Never Know, and you get I think it would, the whole feeling of this show would be a whole new level. But like you said, it was a special moment in time. This is one show. I think that's what's key to look at this. And it was a show where, like you said, the new songs were all quick. And
this show was really tailored. I mean, it's a serious show too. So I think you have to put that in consideration. It was a serious show, and it wasn't a two-night stand. Right. And there's a lot of casual audiences there. I would say it was a huge chunk of casuals there. As you could tell from the video I sent you, everybody was sitting down during all the new songs people were sitting down during. And then some people left during the encore in my section.
Wow.
You can definitely tell who bought the premiums off Ticketmaster and who were warehouse people.
Yeah, because even Jessica said she was by a lot of warehouse people in the upper corner. That's where they throw you, right? And
I wouldn't know nothing about that.
Oh yeah, John Dix only gets premium seats. Okay, he doesn't sit in the back. All right, Rosa Parks sat in the back. So let me stop. Anyway, so yeah, it's interesting to hear your perspective, Steph's perspective. So guys, just that the people freaking out at home, guys, John's wouldn't be afraid, and he's texted me during the show, and he's been next to me at the Gorge and said stuff. If it's trash, he would have said it was trash. So I think this is key, and this is why I do this show, right? We had a lot of social media freaking out. People was like, we had fans from Boston. Dang, Jimmy Butler done ran through my team, and I had this DMB set. Like people,
Jimmy Butler,
yeah, 2-0 up to anyway. But this great perspective from you guys at the show, John at show number 101. Giving us some things. Any other things you want to add about this? Looks like you got 2 posters allegedly.
I got the foil and the regular.
Okay. Did it sell out?
No, the foil sold out, but the regular was still there when I left. But I think they printed way. I think they knew the demand was going to be high. I think this is a high print run. I haven't looked at the number, but I think it was a high print run for a Slater to still be there at the end of the show. It would be like 3,000 posters.
Wow. I mean, people were selling. They were selling these from the show, which happens every show, right? Just depends on the web, the page, the social media page.
People were selling the posters already.
Yes.
What were they hitting for?
They were doing waffles. So it was like, I think it was like 20 something spots for 50. I can't remember what it was. I have to look back. But you have like people who weren't there wanted this. They were like, oh, I want this Slater. So it's interesting.
I think the value is going to drop tomorrow because this is going to be on the website.
Right.
So there's going to be something extra.
And listen, shout out to Todd Slater because
he was in attendance.
Yes, he was there. And he mentioned it too. I know you had told me, and he mentioned that he was there. And did you get the trading cards? Did you see those?
I did see those. My buddy Rob, who's like a card guy, apparently, was telling me he's going to get one of his like sent off to get graded or whatever. But
were they selling them as a single index card, or was there how was it?
It was a baseball card, so it had the poster on the bull on the front, and on the back it had the tour dates.
Okay, yeah, I saw some
pictures. Only 150, and they were numbered.
There was 150.
Yeah, and they were numbered.
Oh, so they're really listen. They got
and they were 25 a piece for one baseball card.
Hold on, don't talk because I don't want this to echo. Because we gotta hit out. We gotta get the animations out. $25 for card.
I beg your pardon.
25 a card.
I beg your pardon.
That's wild. But listen, when you have a limited run, I gotta tell you this. And I saw the ice cream truck. What'd you think of that poster?
The tour poster?
Yeah, the tour poster.
It didn't really touch me, but I'll pick it up probably next Saturday. I'll probably pick it up next Saturday.
Okay. Because what I mean, there was a higher Koran Capshaw Koran. They did have a opening last year for a social media person. That I know that for a fact because I know people who applied to that. So they've hired someone in social media, and I thought that ice cream poster was something that's going to grab people. Just because remember you had that ice cream truck for, was it New York City, one of the caravans? AC? Was it AC? I think it was Atlantic City.
I don't remember.
But there was an ice cream, and that was just a popular thing. So I know you're not digging it, but to me, you got the limited run cards. They got these bracelets and beads. They got the pins that are popping up.
Bracelet or those pins.
Listen, the pins was a couple years ago. I remember they went on sale, and it was like a poster.
People were flipping those for some bread.
Yes, they were. I mean, listen, it was streets gotta eat.
I thought Pro fans were crazy, but DMB fans will buy anything too.
So, and what's interesting? It's hit or miss because you have those pins that were a hit. I would have never thought that, but then you have some posters that don't sell.
Yeah.
So, and then like for instance, the Dave Matthews Band warehouse flag, which I still have one sealed up allegedly. I'm holding on to that. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like even that flag was like, now it wasn't like crazy. You weren't getting crazy money, but like that flag was a popular item for people to trade for something. So it's some things hit, some things don't. But those cards reminds me of a magnetic baseball schedule. When you go to opening day for baseball, you got the pins, you got beads, you got they're selling bracelets now, right? The eco-friendly bracelets.
Once I get the poster, I'm out of the merch line.
So they're selling eco-friendly bracelets with trash from like those trash glumps in the ocean. They take that trash, turn it into jewelry. So listen, that's going towards to save the ocean, or but they're definitely stepping their merch game up and everything. Social media games
in somebody's pocket.
So
capitalism.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. Are you going to Dallas?
Come on, man. You know I'm going to Dallas.
Listen, I gotta check, man. Every year, every year John says he's gonna slow it down.
I am someone. I did 17, I think, last year, and I'm only doing well. Maybe hey, I do. I'm gonna hit you up on the DM. I might need you to pick me up. Somebody offered me a pit ticket to Hartford to pull up.
We'll have to talk offline. We'll see.
Okay.
All
I
right,
might pull
but
up Hartford.
all right. But thanks
Hey,
for coming in. That's the show number 101.
and before you let me go, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you, man. I love the work that you're doing. I'm proud of you. Keep it up, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm very proud of you, man. I love you.
Thank you. Show 101, the hottest poster collector under the sun. All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right. Fatima. Let's see. We'll see if Fatima. Well, it's 1 a.m. We'll see. Says he has hard. We got Hartford picks for trade. Oh yeah, you want to get seats, Greg, right? You want to get seats, and that's a big thing. Is listen, people, and I know you've done that before. You traded your pits for seats for lowers, right? And sometimes it's better to be in the seats versus the pit can be crazy. And, let's see. Fatima. I'm gonna check in to see if Fatima wants to come on real quick. It is late, but we'll see. And if you guys want to be on, post something in the comments. Hit me up in the chat, Instagram or Twitter, ConcertViz34, and on social media, and we'll try to add you in. I'm looking to get as many perspectives as possible. As many as possible. There's no wrong way to answer this stuff. And the main thing is I want to hear the pulse of people there. Give me 1 second. I'm going to check to see if Fatima. Fatima? Hey, so tell us about this Houston show. What did you think?
Overall, I thought it was great. I saw the set list, but I didn't watch or listen to any of the live streams from the Mexico shows because I just wanted to be surprised and take everything in. And I thought it was really good. I mean, for the most part, there was some I'm still absorbing it, but I think it was some dips in the set list, like with the energy, like certain songs. But of course, it's going to happen. It's all a lot of new songs, and
right.
Overall, it was really good.
Yeah. So we have a Bismarck opener where you expect to you're kind of toning back from set list watching, which I know it's actually a good practice. I know my friend who got me into the band does that, but you get Bismarck as an opener. Did that cut you off guard at all? Or?
I was, so honestly, we're talking about it with a friend yesterday, and they're like, what do you think the opening song is going to be? And this is my first time going to a show that is album has dropped, the same show that night. I'm like, it's Walk Around the Moon. How could they not open up with Walk Around the Moon, right? Mm-hmm. But the Bismarck, I like Bismarck. I heard it once back in 2016, and I thought, and I know it's like kind of fast and like it's like lyric heavy, but I enjoy it. I love the chorus. So I was happy to hear it again. And it is kind of weird, I think, for the regular casual Dave fan, like, oh yeah, I saw them years ago. I'm gonna catch another show. But I think for folks who are, diehards, it was a treat.
So with this show, you had 7 Walk Around the Moon's songs. Did it feel like it was 7 songs? Did it feel like there was less of that new album? Or?
It did feel like, and I'm not. It's no surprise, right? Like I had no expectations. I just wanted to see what they did today, and yeah. But all those songs are short. A lot of them are short, so it didn't seem like you know, that bad. I enjoy most of the songs just from first listen and just having it for listening to it for a day. I will say though, I felt like when they ended Warehouse, like when they ended the first part of the set before the encore, I looked at my clock and like, God, it's not even 10 o'clock. It just felt like it would go a little bit longer. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting about that, if you take out like some people may not count Brick House as a numbered song. They may say, hey, it's just part of Jimmy thing. It's that next song that, they've decided to put in. So really there's 17 songs if you count it like that. If you count Jimmy thing in Brick House as one long experience, that's 17 songs. I looked at my clock Eastern Standard Time and I'm thinking I thought I was going to be at the encore 20 minutes later. So I feel that it's
I
definitely
really like that Brick House though. That was a treat. Oh my gosh. I because I was like, oh, I just want to hear like Art Dave songs. I don't want to hear covers, but that was because that like Jimmy thing, I could take it or leave it, and then when they launched into Brick House, I was like, this is amazing. And hearing Rashawn sing, to me, just my gut was like, oh my God, he kind of sounds like a little like Prince, which I loved. Like, so yeah, let Rashawn sing. More solos for Rashawn with his vocals.
Yeah, definitely an interesting surprise there. And that's great perspective. Like you, I want Dave to cover Dave Matthews Band songs. I don't want him to do covers, even though I know they do elevate the crowd. So it's interesting that just shows the power of that Brick House, that you as coming in saying, hey, I prefer not to have covers, that was a special moment for you. Now, how did this compare to? I know you're in Texas. You've been to shows in Texas. How did this show compare to some other shows as far as the weather, the heat, and the crowd energy and excitement? Last year you were at some of the early shows as well.
Yeah, the heat wasn't quite as bad as last year. I think it was a little less humid, and so it wasn't quite as bad. But it's still, Houston. It's still muggy and hot. So, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. But I think also it just seemed a little more. The crowd where I was in the 108, like the uppers right in the center, and a lot of, I think, like I said, more casual fans, and so a lot of folks sitting down, and which is cool. But I felt like last year's set. I mean, that's like per Dreaming Tree, and they had broken out some break. I think they did Break For It again, and so. But you're not going to get that on this tour as much, right? They're going to be playing the new stuff. So, I mean, I like both shows. It was a good show. Yeah, I think I just need to sit with the new album a little bit more, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But, and 2022, yeah, we got the set pulled up here. Here, let me decrease me a little bit so everyone can see this. Yeah, there's a lot of crossovers here. Last year there was Break Free at the Woodlands. Last year you had Warehouse and then Dancing Nancy, so it was a reverse. Last year you had When the World Ends, you had Madman's Eyes. So there was some crossovers, but I think looking at last year's set, there's Dreaming Tree, there is Idea of You comes back.
Yeah.
You know, it really ironically was played more before Come Tomorrow came out, and then once Come Tomorrow came out, it hardly was played. It was last played 7/26/19 before last year. And you guys got Break for It, which had been played the night before.
Yep.
Just like some of the other songs here, like Break Free and Break For It, both were played. But it's like last year's a different vibe because you guys had um you had a bunch of rare songs all come back, and there wasn't a new album. So
Right.
yeah, definitely interesting to see that. And I remember you were, like you said, we talked to you last year, just the emotions of Dreaming Tree are so strong and so long standing because it's been around since 98, where now you're telling us the new album. And I feel the same way. I haven't been to a show since it came out today, but I still need to sit with this album. I have my initial reaction, but I need to really soak it in and continue to hear some more um live performances from the tapers and from Sirius XM radio. So
Right.
any final thoughts here before we let you go?
I really the new songs. I really enjoyed "Looking for a Vein," that Encore One song.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And All You Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow. When I heard it, I listened last night at midnight, and I thought it was beautiful. But even in live, it's even better because it starts out kind of quiet, and it just has this groove, and it live it just builds up and builds up, and it was great. It was. I think that might be one of my favorite songs from after Monsters. It was All You Ever Wanted Was Tomorrow.
That's awesome. Interesting to hear. And yeah, Looking for a Vein seems like a lot of people like it. Are you going to Dallas tomorrow?
I am. Yep. I'll be
Okay.
at Dallas and then at Rogers on Tuesday.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll check in. I know sometimes this works out, sometimes it doesn't, but we'll try to see if we can get you back on. But thanks for coming on to the stream, and safe travels up to DFW.
Thank you. Thanks, Marcus.
All right. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right. So that's all of our guests tonight, and things ended up coming together. The last thing I want to say here is I always have been someone who's open to hearing other opinions. And even I was on Twitter today just kind of saying, even during the sets, kind of making my cases, but it's okay to outright love this new album. It's okay to not like this new album and be disgusted with a lot of it. And it's okay to be in the middle. This album just came out. This band is in a different space than it's ever been. You have no Leroy Moore, and that's not a shot at Jeff, but Leroy Moore, even past beyond his sax playing, he was a person who could overrule Dave in studio. So these songs sound like the album sounds like a Dave solo album for two reasons. One, because Dave is really the decision maker. And two, this band is the same instruments that Dave and Friends was. Like, there's no violin. You're not having think about Ants, right? The Ants violin solo, the 41 parts with the violin, that's what we think of with Dave Matthews Band. There is no violin in the current lineup. So if you have keys and Buddy, if you have bass and you have Tim Reynolds, and the only thing you don't have from that's a comparison or a counterpart, you don't have Trey Anastasio, obviously, because Fish has touring to do. outside of that, you pretty much have the bones of what Some Devil was, the Some Devil personnel and the people who went on tour for Dave and Friends. It's the same thing. And what happened when Dave and Friends went on tour? Well, they covered the Beatles. So what's going to happen when you have Buddy Strong, who has the soulful voice that he has, and he's playing keys, and you have Dave? You're going to get things on that end. So this is the band as it is. I think for some people, this means taking a break from the band if you're not satisfied, if this just isn't your cup of tea, if this is so far removed from the band that really made you go and chase Dave around. But I also want to say it's okay to love this stuff, and I personally like what I hear from this new album. I prefer. I'm somebody I could listen to Virginia in the Rain and stay at my seat and then go to the bathroom during Can't Stop or Jimmy Thing. Well, Jimmy Thing's a common one, but I could go to the bathroom during Cornbread. I love some of the quieter songs, the introspective songs. Monsters, I love Monsters. Now, Monsters is a song that has a buildup of dynamic, but it starts off quiet. But I would just say, don't let anyone impact how you feel about the album, but also try to understand or try to just get perspective and listen to people who may have a different opinion than you. Um, that's what I think is the takeaway from today. Because the other thing is this band has attracted people to them for various styles of music. There is a contingent of fans who love the Big Whiskey sound because they joined during the Big Whiskey era. And that's the exact opposite of what a Busted Stuff brings, or even a Bismarck brings, or a Black and Bluebird brings to this band. A lot of fans hopped on at Big Whiskey to the present, and they love the band that's more adult alternative rock, right? That's not Crash. That's not Before These Crowded Streets. Like, it's a different style of playing. So that's my takeaway, is that I can understand why people are happy and upset or in the middle or want to sit with this music. This band is so unique because most bands, when they get to this point, aren't touring as much or they've broken up. This band keeps going. I don't like to use the word evolved. I like to say they change shape, or they adjust and they adapt to things that are lost. Um, that's how I feel. I think mature. I think the band has matured in different ways. They're much tighter than they used to be, even though there's still the rust on certain songs that they bring back. But I really like the effort of this band right now. I love the social media push of this band right now. And listen, the ticket prices, it's more expensive to do anything. So if you need to take a pause, if you need to step back, step back. And for some people, dive in a little further, right? If you have that ability, because this is some special things, and try to enjoy the moment if you can. Um, and shout out to people. I've been talking to people on Twitter, talking to people on Reddit. Um, versus it's a tour year. It is. But to play seven to eight songs in a single night. And again, this is one show, but if this is the norm, that's not what DMB does. And that's what's kind of unique about them. And even I think about jam bands, Humphreys McGee. I've seen them on tour when they have an album out, Fish, Goose, right? You're not gonna get 7 new songs. Now your average artist, they're touring with a new album. Sometimes you may get 8 new songs every tour stop. right? And they have the same set list, and there's 8 new. They're really pushing a new album, and you're gonna get a lot of songs. You're gonna have their hit song in the encore or at the end of the set. But a lot of times, it's just the way DMB is. It's in the middle. But there's few bands that are as polarizing as DMB. They have so many different styles that they execute, um, and to be where they are. And they're not a jam band, right? They're not a jam band. They're not a mainstream popular act. And I know people say all their songs sound the same, but there's so many different, like a Big Whiskey song versus a Crash song. Like they can be totally on two different universes. But Greg, yeah, I hope it's 3 to 5 a night. So, all right, guys, we're gonna end here. Stay tuned tomorrow. DFW, or Dallas Fort Worth. If you don't know what that means. And oh, you know, it's also funny. If you guys are on, follow me on Twitter, Conserviz34. I said I had a couple of these. I don't know if some of you guys got these. Some people didn't get these. I said Jimmy Thing intro into Brick House, or it was just Ben Simmons missing a free throw, and then had tonight's opener, right? Bismarcky. Had Bismarcky right there. So just some funny jokes. And then if it happens tomorrow, what did I say? I said, "Oh my God, it's happening!" Right? Yeah. So the second it could happen, or no, it could happen. Not it could happen tomorrow. It could happen. So I have the office. Shout out Scranton, Pennsylvania. All right, I'm gonna close out. Thank you guys for the support. If you're new to this stream, and yo, I hope you guys continue to watch. Typically, this is a little bit longer than some of the other Mexico streams. Some of these streams will be a little bit shorter. Here, there'll also be, I do try to get some guests in here when we can. So sometimes we will have some guests from the DMB world popping in who may not be at the show to have some discussion. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to end with It Could Happen. To me, I love the intro of this song, and that's why I'm playing it as the outro. I love the intro. We're going to play the outro. Don't forget to support YouTube. Conserviz34 is my YouTube page. If you guys are watching this, all the live streams are under the live tab. I have videos under the video. I have my review of, let's see if we can get there. I have my review of this is my review of my initial review. So you go to my videos tab. I have that review of Walk Around the Moon. I have a video about how Monsters was brought to the live stage, and I have a Busted Stuff video. Those are my 3 latest videos, but check those out under the videos tab. Under live, you guys can check out the live stream. There's right there. We're live right there. That's the post-show stream, but I got some streams even through last year. A John Mayer post-show stream, some other live streams there. But we're going to end on this. Definitely hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. We after every show, it could be 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes it could be a little longer. When I'm at the show, it could be an hour or longer sometimes for me to drive back home, or it could be right away if I have a hotel nearby. So stay tuned. If you don't watch it live, shout out to everyone who watches the replay of these streams. I want to shout you guys out as well. And tell a friend to tell a friend. We want as many diverse voices as possible as far as viewpoint, vantage point. Whether we had Cody on the other day, he hasn't seen a show with Boyd, and he's almost at 50 shows. He was here tonight. He couldn't make the stream. But and we have people who have been here since the early 90s going to DMB shows. We interview them. There's a spot for everyone to share their opinion. YouTube Conserviz 34. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and play the outro. Thank you guys. Peace.